Hello everybody and welcome back to City Skylines 2, where we are working on expanding our commercial sector up over here. And we definitely have some issues with our highway here. So first thing that I want to do is I want to take this out, and I want to move this highway to be, at least in this section, a little bit more centered. So the idea here, it doesn't have to be perfect, but the idea here is we're going to knock it back to about here. And we're going to create a bridge area that moves this up, and that bridge is going to move steadily further this direction as we head this way. Is that a bit of an angle we can see? So if we put our mouse here and head just this direction, we can see it definitely heads downward a little bit, but it's not that much. So we're going to have to just overall adjust the highway somewhere around here or so. But for now, we're just going to do it up here. So let's get a roundabout in up about... I want it to be a little lower than this. Okay, we're going to have to figure out where exactly we want this to branch off of. And yeah, I know we're a little bit off on this angling as well, but that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that one. So I think about... This is not quite centered. I think it should be about here is where this highway should end up going in. I'm putting that in as a marker, and I want to check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it really should be about halfway between these two positions. We can turn off the zone grid snap, and we would want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it should be about here would be where that would end up coming in. Okay, that's very awkward. Let's not snap to existing geometry. This is just going to be a very strange angle in general, isn't it? It is. So if we turn off snapping to the zone grid, can we bring it out about here? This'll do, I think. It's a little too far to the north, but I think overall that is fine. So I'm going to drop a pillar right out over here. Let's go to angle snap only mode. And temporarily, we're just going to create a bridge going down like this. Now that will get moved when we develop this meta block here. So that's going to be the plan. We're just going to steadily move this over this way. Okay, now can we put in a roundabout here? Slope too steep, only to the south. That's fine. We don't mind that. We can put this in and then bring this guy back in about like that. So this is approximately correct. It's a little too far to the right from our current viewpoint, but that's, I think, reasonably fine. I'm not too concerned about that. So we're going to need to bring this out only on the angle snap. Yeah, that'll do. And we'll just drop a pillar in each of these locations for now. Right here, please. Well, actually, we're going to have to drop a pillar here because of the shape of the land. That's okay. We'll just bring this in here, drop a pillar there, and then we can bring this out to be about here or so. Oh, hi, transportation overview. I was not intending to look at you, but sure, I guess we're looking at that now. Okay, so let's get a roundabout going here. This is too steep in both of these directions. Okay, let's get rid of this. Like that. Put that in right there. And then we'll just bring this right back in. No problem. So that'll be fine. The real question here, of course, is going to be, how is this going to do with the on-off ramps over here? Because now that this is placed approximately where we want it, this is going to be interesting. I think it'll be hardest to get an on-off ramp on this side. Oh, we're not in Curve Tool. Curve Tool does help. It absolutely does. And we can't delete this. Okay. Exciting. We'll delete it like that then. And we'll bring this guy back up and in. There we go. And then we'll see about bringing this guy up. Okay, that does work. Beautiful. No problem there then. So no left turns. And we'll move on. This is backwards. Never mind. We're not moving on. What am I doing? Okay, so we're just going to bring this up and in over here. This should work just fine as well. There should be no problem with it. We'll bring this back ever so slightly and bring it down over here. Oh, hang on. There was a spot over here that was working. But it's showing up as slope too steep on this side. Let's try building it backwards. Okay, so I guess this will be a little bit more complicated. So that slope too steep up over there. Noted. This isn't a huge drop-off over here, so I'm just going to do a quick terraform here. So we're just going to grab this altitude. Whoa, hang on. I wanted to grab this altitude here. We're not in level tool. That's what's going on. Okay. Okay, we're just going to do something like that. Run this road across to about here or so. Then we can run our on-ramp. Actually, this is going to be an off-ramp. So we want to bring this out to be about here. That works. Then we can forbid our left-hand turns. Get rid of this section of road. Smooth out the terrain changes that we made. There we go. And can we just reconnect this? Yes, we can. Beautiful. So that'll do. Now we can come out over this direction. And I don't love this little block of walling that we have here. So let's get rid of that and get rid of this. And I would like to see about dropping a pillar and make this be an angle snap only mode somewhere around here, and then connecting this up about like that. That is much smoother. Then let's see how these off-ramps are going to go. This could definitely be exciting over on this side, but I think it'll probably be broadly okay. That's barely slope too steep. I'm going to step this back a little bit. That works. Okay, and then this one is going to be up over here. That is slope too steep, which isn't necessarily shocking. Indeed not. We're going to do the same sort of technique here. So level terrain tool, grab this height, bring this out, and then bring this road in to be about here. That is currently overlapping the highway. Okay, so we're going to need to take this section of highway out, bringing this road to approximately here. Then the section of highway will have to go back in.
Let me guess. Lineage traced back to the great Hayden
Sure.
himself?
That's probably fine. Then we need to, this is currently an off-ramp, which is correct. This is going to need to be an on-ramp over here, which is going to come up somewhere around here. That looks good. We're going to forbid our left-hand turns there. And we can bulldoze this, fix our terraformation, no problem. This technique is quite effective, really. Okay, this might be a little too much of softening here. We'll see how that goes. No, that's fine. No problem at all. Beautiful. So this area is now ready to be zoned up. So we'll zone this with commercial in marquee select tool, about like this. I'm going to zone this, I think, all medium or all light residential, actually. So this is going to be light, not residential, light commercial. This area over here can be dense commercial. This should be low density business. There we go. And I'm going to rezone this over here to be high density business. About like that. That should deal with this commercial demand for the moment. And then, of course, we have a bunch of residential demand. We can look at a location like this. They're unhappy due to lack of entertainment and walking distance to elementary school. That is reasonable. So let's build a couple of parks up over here. Oh, my. Yeah, lack of entertainment indeed. Okay, so I'm going to plop in a park about here. A park down over here would make sense. And then one about here. Somewhere over this way. Okay. And then one about here. One somewhere down this direction. Here. Here. I think somewhere over this way makes a lot of sense. There we go. About here or so. Just cleaning up a lot of this lack of entertainment. There we go. And then this area up here clearly needs a lot. So one there, one here. Cleans that up nicely. And then one about here. One about here. And then one about here. Okay, how's that looking? We still need a little bit of entertainment up over this way, which seems fine. There's some areas down here which show up as lack of entertainment. We may want to put in a park about there, but otherwise that looks reasonably decent for the moment. There is this area up here, which we certainly could put in a park about here. Maybe even one over this direction, which is mildly in the pollution zone. I'm sure it will be fine. And then just something along the lines of that. Okay, that should do on the park front. Now, as far as the walking distance to elementary school goes, we could certainly use another elementary school up over this way. So we could put an elementary school about here. And I think that's fine. So that will deal with most of the concerns of the abandoned homes in this area. So now we can clear out these homes. They'll get rebuilt pretty quickly based on our residential demand. And let's think about maybe doing more residential expansion. It will probably end up being necessary. That was the one that did not need to get removed, but that's fine. And then we've got these down here, which is probably those ghost noise complaints. Lack of entertainment. Okay, we just addressed this area, so that should be under control. What else do we have over this way? Okay, a couple of additional abandonment areas. These are probably just due to the ghost noise complaints. So that's fine. No problem over here. That all looks good. Cool. Now we are currently having a bit of a traffic jam over here. This is due to the accidents, I think. We certainly could make the argument of putting in a bypass like this, which is giving us overlapping items, but that's fine. We just do something kind of like that. Now, these guys aren't going to utilize that for a while, and we want to definitely say no left-hand turn here. Thank you very much. So a bypass there. We could put in all of our bypasses over here. I don't know how much this is really going to help, but it will help somewhat, I think. Just with the pathfinding portions of this. So that's giving us overlapping items. We might need to back this off a little bit. Yeah, that works. And then this would come down over here. That's invalid shape. Hang on, what was this? Yep, that's fine. Okay, no left-hand turn here. No left-hand turn here. No left-hand turn here or here. All of that looks reasonably fine. Okay. So that gives us some amount of bypass if we're only trying to do a right-hand turn, right? So that will reduce some of the strain on the roundabout, but to be clear, the actual problem here is the traffic accidents. But there we go. That will reduce it somewhat. So taking a look at our demand, we definitely need to think about expanding this area here. So I want to bring this road out to the city limits. On angle snap only for right now. Okay, right about there. Then we can start to extend these roads just overall across. So that'll be here. That'll be here. Here. And we'll get this one over. Yeah, that looks okay. And then this one. That's going to be some overlapping items. So we're going to need to take this section of highway out. No doubt about that. And we'll extend this guy up to be here first. Then to be here. Then right up over here. Okay. Now this highway can go through, but I want to get these horizontal roads done first. It is definitely better to go with the small roads first so that we just don't end up with pillar issues. Now this over here, of course, is a bit of an issue. So let's take that out and let's think about a slope terrain tool. So that would be just something like that. And then we can run this road up. And that'll just connect in there. So that's, you know, still pretty rough up over here. We can soften out this terrain on this side and this over here as well. And then we can try to soften out this as best we can. But yeah, that's going to create some issues over there. So I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to use the slope terrain tool and we're just going to do... Ooh, oh, okay, hang on. Yeah, that's not great. Just something kind of like this and carve this area out. Then we can soften it out just a smidge. About like that. And that'll give us some construction area. Okay, that seems good. Then we can connect this guy here. And then run this road across. 90-degree angle, thank you very much. And that's going to end up going here, but as we can see, we've got problems in both of these side roads. So we're going to take them out, and we're going to need to do some sloping. So we're going to grab this height here, and just slope that right on down, and then this height, and slope that right on down. Do we have a road here? Yes, we do. Okay, there we go. We'll get rid of that. Then we'll run this road up and through again. These are definitely less flat areas, no doubt about that, but we definitely have plenty of tools to work with that. So we'll just do something like this, and then just smooth out this terrain. Cool. Something about like that will do. I don't love this hill that we've got going on here, so I'm just going to remove that quickly and smooth this. And then rerun this road quick. To about there. That is significantly better. Now we can run these highways up and grab from about here in angle snap only mode, making sure that we have the correct altitude, dropping a pillar here, here. That's giving us overlapping items. Maybe we can do it about there. Yep. And then just pushing that slightly on through. And then from here, extending this guy out in angle snap. Actually, this is going to have to be deleted. Okay, doing that, then grabbing this point, going into angle snap only mode. Pillar here, 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 here. That's giving overlapping items. So what if we pillared there? Okay, now we're going to go into full snapping. Bring that down, apparently to 0 meters. I don't know what's up with that exactly, but... Oh, I see what we've got going on. Yeah, this is going to have to be elevated. Okay, that's fine. We can definitely work on that. And then there's this section right here as well. Let's just take that out for the time being and remove this. And we'll just repillar this area. Okay, so that definitely needed work. And we can just drop a pillar in angle snap only mode, please. Right about here. Bring this up to about the peak of this hill. And then dropping it here. And then a pillar about there. And then we can just bring that right on through. That fits the contours of the terrain much better. I like it. So then this will get connected in over here in angle snap only mode. And then we'll put a pillar about there, taking that out to the city limits. Sounds good. Next, what I want to do is do we want to run these roads out to the city limits? We've kind of got a cliff here. I think for this meta block, we'll just have it truncate here. Next, can we get a roundabout in here? Actually, yes, remarkably. And how bad are these? Oh, I have a bad feeling about the on-off ramps over here. We'll see how that goes, but it probably is going to need some terraformation. So we'll just bring this up and curve tool. Curve tool helps. We'll just bring this up and in over here. That's slope too steep at a 24% grade. That's a 20% grade. I feel like we can find a way to do this. I definitely feel like we can find a way to do it. There is, of course, this little section of bridge right here. But let's take this out for the time being. And we need to terraform this. So that's going to be the level terrain tool. Grabbing, I think, this height here. And we'll just level that about like so. Then this road is going to have to be run up over this way, right? So this is going to get kind of awkward. So that's going to need to go here and then come back over here. Now that's slope too steep. So we're going to have to use the slope terrain tool, which isn't shocking, but we're just going to have to put in a slope about like that. And then grab this position again, which is here. And that's coming back as slope too steep. Okay. Let's move this park.
You're back with Second Moon Radio.
And that's going to need to be moved over to about here. Yeah, this is going to be rough to get these built. No doubt about it. But we can get it done. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out this section of Grove Street. And we are simply going to grab this height. And then we're going to use the slope terrain tool. And we're going to do something like that. And then grabbing this height again, something like that. And then look to connect these. So I want this to go down to be about here. Then about here. Then coming up and connecting up over here. So I want it to dip down just like that. Then we can grab this position yet again, which is going to be right here. And bring this over to be about here. Then connect it to be about here. Okay. Now we should be able to do this. So I'm just going to soften out this area here that might run into some issues as we attempt to bring up our setup here. So we're going to then grab this one-lane, one-way highway and build an on-ramp here. Then an off-ramp.
Thank you, Professor.
Here. Okay. So we got there in the end. Took a moment, for sure, but now we can get rid of this guy and see about our slope terrain tool. This might be too much, but we'll see. So then this guy would want to connect in down here. This is at a slight angle. This is apparently not correctly built here. Okay, let's get that out of there for now, and we'll just leave those be. And can we just bring this guy right on up like this? Well, that's overlapping items, but what if we brought this down to be here? Okay. That's still not exactly where we want it to be. Okay. We're struggling here. No doubt about that. Well, let's just bring this up to be up over here. That's slope too steep right now, and then once we get up here, it's overlapping items. So that is a 20% grade. That's for sure. So we do need to do something about this situation here. It is a pretty significant grade, and unfortunately, that means that these houses are going to have to go away. Because that means that all of that needs to be removed. And we just bring this guy up straight like that. Then here. Then here. I was hoping to avoid removing the houses, but unfortunately it was required. Okay, so there we go. We finally got the on-off ramps over here. Next would be these ones, and I suspect we're going to run into a similar sort of issue here. The main difference is that we don't have any pre-existing development, right? So this would go out this direction. That actually just works. And then this one would come up this way, which surprisingly also just works. So these will have to be turned around. I kind of built them backwards, but that's fine. We can do something like that. No left-hand turn there. Remarkable that that just worked. Okay. Next up, we're going to do the same sort of thing over here. curve tool, please. And let's see, this side might be the bigger problem. Let's try branching it off of this pillar. No issue there. I mean, other than the pillar clipping through, but, you know. Okay. Looks good, other than the pillar. The pillar clipping through is not ideal, but we'll take it for now. And next, we'll position here, and I don't actually expect there to be significant issues over on this side. That's a pillar issue, nothing too major. We can just do that, and then bring this guy in. That is very slightly sloped too steep, so if we take that back to here and try that again from this position, no problem. Slightly skewed, but it'll do. Okay, so that's this area ready to be zoned up. So let's just grab our low-density housing, and I'm just going to zone it from here up to about here. Looks good. So that'll add in a bunch of extra low-density housing there for our demand. At this point, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to keep on working on our demand. I also want to check in on the status of this intersection. This guy just performing an illegal U-turn there. Okay, cool. This motorbike is still parked here. Okay, whatever. This clearly needs some work, and we'll see how we want to go about doing that. But for now, it is time for that cut. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're probably going to work on some of these traffic issues for a little bit. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kentogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.